Hello, and good morning, and welcome to Monday morning motivation, your hour of power. I tell you, you got to know that you are positioned to be an overcomer because you are a willing vessel to educate, empower, and encourage through your resilience. Understand the power that you possess. Know that you are powerful and know that you have the power to speak life or death. And I want you to know today, I'm excited. We have a very, very special guest on today. Mary Beth is going to be coming on and sharing with us. We're going to get to know Mary Beth, and she's going to drop some nuggets that can, motivate you. Not only the rest of this week, motivate you for the rest of the day, the rest of this week, and maybe for the rest of the month and the year. I'm telling you, hopefully she can drop some nuggets that's going to take you there. So I want you to take a moment, share this with someone in your circle of influence. Get your notepad, get your pen, and grab you a beverage so you can enjoy what's going to come forth on today. So I'm going to bring up my guest and we're going to dive in. We're going to allow her to introduce herself on this morning. Mary Beth, how are you? Come on in the room. Oh, I got you turned around the other way. That's not how I want you turned. Let me get you back on the screen, right? And y'all know we dealing with this new platform, so it's something new. We dealing with this year. We are we are into our third season here on the Crew Podcast, and we're using a new platform. So I apologize, but I had you upside down, and I said, no, I can't bring the Holy Spirit upside down. So I do apologize. And then again, I have to let people know that we are human and mistakes happen. So when these things happen, I love being live because when things happen, people can see that mistakes happen, but we have to learn to adapt. We have to learn to keep going. We have to learn to push past. So I'm gonna move out the way and I'm gonna allow you to introduce yourself. If you would introduce yourself, Mary Beth.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary Beth Newell, and I have been a registered nurse for almost 45 years. I like to say I'm an oldie but a goodie. And I also have a master's degree in science, so I'm sort of a science nerd. I really get into it. I also wrote a book called Anti Aging and Secrets of Healthy Living to Stop the Clock. So it is a guide to help people look younger, feel fantastic, and wow the world, all without any kind of plastic surgery or injectables, and ideas you can fit into a very busy lifestyle.
Now that's right up my alley. That is right up my alley because in March, April, in 2 months, I will be turning 50. And I'm definitely trying to not look like I'm 50. So you are right on time. So I'm definitely going to be sitting over here taking some nuggets and taking some notes from that. Definitely nursing for all those years. It takes a special person to be a nurse. So what has that journey been like?
Well, I think I became a nurse because I was fascinated with the body. So I wanted to learn more about the body. And, I think the thing I love about nursing is there's something for everybody. There's all different specialties, all different areas that you can work in nursing. It's a fantastic career because you can work full time, you can work part time. It's a very versatile career. So I started out probably the first 10 years I specialized in mental health nursing. And so I worked in, the regular hospitals. And I like the type of nursing where you're working with other disciplines like social workers, rehab therapists, dietitians. And so after spending 10 years in mental health nursing, I sort of morphed over into another interdisciplinary type of nursing, which was rehab nursing. So that's what I've been spending like the last 35 years on, is
Wow.
rehab nursing.
That's amazing. Rehab nursing, that takes a very, very special person because you're dealing with people that are having to regain the use of things that they have lost for various reasons. And that takes a special person because it takes patience and it takes someone that will be able to motivate that individual and encourage them and uplift them. So that takes a very special person. What has that journey been like? Being a rehab nurse, because right now we have a host on the network that had a massive stroke 2.5 years
Mm.
ago now. She's still unable to walk. She's still bedridden pretty much. Just recently, she was able to set up on her own. So she's striving, but that has to be hard too on you. How's just that journey been for you?
I think there's been a lot of advances
Hmm.
since when I started with rehab nursing. So there are, I'd say there's more hope. I think also having so many years as a mental health nurse, I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges that people go through is if there is a change in your mobility or your ability to speak of how do you deal with it? And get through the process to whatever level of function you can return to. So I think keeping people motivated, inspired, wanting to continue what they need to do is a big part of what we do. Because like I said, people can have a massive change in their lifestyle. And where I work, it's with people that are in a rehab center, hoping to make enough progress to return home. But I think just a lot of people just they get depressed. um,
Hmm.
it's like it's not easy to go through rehab. So I think encouraging them, focusing on what people can do versus not so much what they can't do, and just trying to instill hope and a positive outlook with them.
So I have so a little bit about me really quick so I can jump into this story because I really want to get your input because I am a author as well. So I'm connected to a lot of authors, and right now we're doing a movement called the 100 Author Movement, where we have a whole bunch of authors just coming together, and we're just working together, networking, collaborating, and just trying to push each other. Where I have an author where her son, who is an adult, um, about 3 years ago, it may not even be 3 years ago, it may be 2 years ago, he lost sight,
Mm.
and she went through a grieving process. Like she really grieved because, her having to deal with and help because now she's one of the main helpers. She's not I'm not going to say she's his caregiver because he doesn't really need her full time, but support and help. She's the main person that's there. He's also the full guardian of two girls. One of the little girls plays basketball, and he was her coach. So having to do that, he still tried to coach her, but losing his sight and not being able to do the things that he was able to do with her, that has really been a transition for them. And I oftentimes want to, I'll be wanting to say stuff, but I don't even half of the time know what to say to her, um, because of that, And I sympathize, but I really don't know what to say. What do you say to someone that they've been sighted all this time, and then because of medical issues they lose their sight and they having to adapt to this, and then the people around them are having to adapt to it, so it's like a whole different grief process.
You're right. There is a grief process that people go through. I think just, and a lot of times people don't know what to say, but just saying, how are you doing? And listening to people.
That
Um,
part.
Trying not to do platitudes. It'll get better. I mean, the
Right.
things that people say. I think just letting or saying, is there anything I can do to support you? You know, and then I do think sometimes when people are going through things, um, it's hard at times for people to reach out to other people. I have this section in my book called "No Woman is an Island," and it happened to a family member where they were very, very ill in the hospital for over a week. And this person didn't want any help. When they got home, it's like, no, 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 I can do it all. And they couldn't, you know? And so
Right.
I think sometimes being willing to say, okay, I will accept help. I think what the support system can do sometimes instead of saying how can I support you, and that's good, but if you can tell that somebody needs something, just start doing things like, okay, I'm bringing you dinner, okay, instead of or you know, can I come over and cut your grass, you know, what can I do to help you, and just start doing things for the person, because when they're going through that, sometimes they don't even know what they need, or they don't want to ask for help, they don't want to bother anybody. So I do think there may be people who say, yeah, I could use someone to make dinner, or I could use someone to cut the grass or watch the kids. And I think that's important, not only for the person going through um, the issue, but the support people around them. Sometimes they just need a break. You know,
Yeah, the
if
support
somebody
people.
has, you know, kids, or they're watching over the person that went through something, just to say, you know, I'm going to come over for an hour. I'm going to watch the kids, or I'm going to sit with, you know, Danny. Well, you can go and do whatever you want. Go for a walk. Go in the room and meditate. You know, if you have 5 errands you have to run, go and do them without being stressed out. So I think trying to think of creative ways to support people. But you're right, it's hard to know what to say. But I think just, you know, I'm here for you. You know, what's it feel like? What are you going through is important for someone.
Yeah, like you said, just being able to listen. I've learned how to, not say something all the time when I don't know what to say, to just listen and to allow them to talk. And then once they begin to talk and begin to have that conversation, then I can kind of play off of what they say, and what they are relaying to me. That's what I have learned over the years, to not talk all the time, to just listen and allow them to get it out. My main thing with this particular family is, you know, how do I support the mom who does everything that you says
Oh,
for the individual? She goes over and aboard to make sure that, they have things that they have meals. She even go and stay weeks at a time with them to make sure that, the girls are able to, get back and forth, and then he's able to have his time to himself. Just different things that I've watched her do. And I just, it's just so much more that I want to do for her, but I just don't know what to do. I'm
mhm.
and just and it be like that for a lot of people. We are starting a grief podcast on the network, starting in March, and it's only gonna be 4 shows. They're gonna be 2-hour shows, but they're gonna be very impactful because we have 5 co-hosts that are going to be on, and they're going to be bringing individuals on. So it's going to be like a big 2-hour panel discussion where individuals are going to be able to share and unload, and then they're going to be able to get those resources, and they're going to be able to get that support, because a lot of times we don't have that. No, I want to talk about your book,
Okay.
because just listening, you mentioned your book, and just hearing just a little short synopsis you gave, well, the section that you talked about, it just made me want to, know more. And of course we want to know how we can get that book. So let's talk about your book.
Okay. Well, it is available on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, so it is easily accessible. And I focus on five different areas: exercise, nutrition, self care, like we were talking about. I talk about skincare because, as I mentioned, it doesn't involve any kind of Botox or injectables or plastic surgery as far as maintaining your skin, different ideas, and then also hair and makeup. But I think with the self care, as you were mentioning, the importance of just having some downtime for yourself, and trying to realize, I especially women, I don't think women realize how important it is to have some time every day, ideally, just to focus on yourself.
Hmm.
And it's like on an airplane where they give you the safety instructions and they say, you put on your oxygen mask first before you help anybody else. And I think as women, we put the oxygen mask on everybody else and forget about ourselves. And
Hmm.
we burn the candle at both ends. And then what happens is we're not good for ourselves or anybody else. And I think it can be hard to say, okay, even if it's 15 minutes a day, what am I going to do 15 minutes, or when am I going to find that 15 minutes every day? And some people are successful with maybe getting up 15 minutes earlier or before you go to bed, turning off the TV and just saying, okay, if you like to meditate, you can do the 15 minutes of meditation. Sometimes you can't find a whole hour, but even if you have little kids, if you live in a household with other people, and you're on the go and you can't find any time, then enlist your family members. I mean, even little kids can fold their own clothes. You get them out of the dryer and you say, okay, Susie and Jimmy, go ahead and fold your clothes and put them away instead of
Right.
you folding them and putting them away. Or just letting people know, I need this time to myself so I can be a better roommate or mother or lover or spouse, and let people know. And I think they will rally around you to do that. And then whatever you do for your own self care, I think the power of positivity is very important. Now, some people are just born and they're naturally optimists and they always see the bright side, but a lot of people aren't. And, if you say, oh, now this happened, now that happened, or, oh, I knew, uh, to try to turn things around and reframe your thinking so that it is more positive. If you're an example would be if you're in a traffic jam, okay, there's an accident, and maybe you're going to be an hour delayed or 2 hours delayed. Now, who isn't going to get kind of negative about that as
Right.
far as oh, I'm stuck in this traffic jam? But if you say, okay, let's try to put a positive twist on it. I have a girlfriend that every time I call, she doesn't live around me, so she lives in another state. But every single time I call her, I cannot get off the phone for at least an hour. So, you know what I do when I'm in a traffic jam? I call her because I mean, it's hard to find that hour otherwise to call her, and I'll call her, and it's like, okay, the time is flying. There's other things that you could do. You could try to focus on. Maybe you want to listen to a podcast or
Right.
something for self improvement. Okay, while you have an hour when you're in the car to do that. So I even, and it's not easy, but even when you run into crabby people, I think people's initial uh, response would be to be crabby back. You know, someone's rude to you or they're not very nice.
Hmm.
And if people think, oh, you know, who are you? And, you know, why are you treating me that way? Or someone cuts you off in traffic and you think, jerk. You know? But if you try to, again, this is more the positivity aspect. If you try
Right.
to reframe it, and it's not easy, especially when sometimes it's happening to you, but if there's someone who's being a really crabby, maybe salesperson to you, of trying to think, well, one, thank goodness I'm not feeling that way. But number two, you don't know what happened to that person. You know,
Right.
they could have had a fight with an argument with a child or someone in their household and they're feeling miserable or something else is going on in their life. And, you know, they had to go to work and they don't really want to be there. And I think if you can take a couple deep breaths and think about it, and maybe instead of responding in a like manner, to say, it seems like you're having a bad day. I hope it gets better for you. That
Hmm.
can completely change someone's day. Or if someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of thinking, what a jerk, or getting right on their tail like some people do, to try to think, I mean, I think back to when I was a single mom and my kids were in daycare and I had to get there by 5 o'clock to pick them up. Otherwise, they charged you all these extra fees every 5 minutes you were late. And I know I probably cut some people off at one point, you know, trying to get there. So I always think if somebody's cutting me off, to try to think, you know, if they might be trying to get to the hospital, they might not even, they might be frantic trying to make a left turn and they didn't even see you when they cut you off.
Right.
I always try to think something more positive, like I hope that person gets wherever they're going safely. So to try to think that way instead of being angry yourself or negative with people.
Because that negative, being negative, it takes too much energy. I like to be positive because
Hmm.
it seems like when you're positive and you giving off that positive energy, it comes back. So I
Hmm.
like to stay positive. Um, what are three nuggets that you would offer from your book that would motivate somebody to get up and go, to get up and to live? Because we have the power to live, and
Hmm.
to have that energy. You talked about aging, and a lot of us, we don't look our age, and it's because of probably some of the things that you shared. So what are some nuggets that you, because I'm turning 50 and I don't want to feel like I'm 60, I don't want to feel like I'm 70, I want to feel energized. So what are some things that you would share with me as I turn a half a century?
Well, happy birthday. Um, I think one of the areas is making sure that we exercise. You know, if you think when you're a kid, you're outside running around all the time, you might not have a car, so you're riding your bike places or walking places, or even when you're a young adult, you tend to be walking a lot more. And as we get older, we either we feel like we don't have the time to do it or we just jump in the car and go somewhere. Now, I know everyone's probably heard you're supposed to get like 10,000 steps. And, you know, that was a marketing advertisement by a company that made the pedometers. So there wasn't any research in this 10,000 steps when it came out, but they have done research afterwards. So the research shows if you get 2,700 steps a day, which is maybe about a mile, maybe a little more, your risk of dying early goes down by 8%. And then cardiovascular events like stroke and heart attacks goes down by 11%. So that's good to get a little bit of movement. But really, the sweet spot is 9,000 steps. If you get 9,000 steps, your risk of dying early goes down by 60%. and your risk of cardiovascular events by 51%. So it's like, okay, how do you get those steps in? You know, if you don't have an hour to go to the gym, what do you do to try to get those steps in during the day? I always recommend, I wear a step tracker. I love the little Fitbit thing here.
Mm-hmm.
It's some people like Apple. Some phones automatically track your steps. There's just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you don't even have to buy something. But some tips are if you go to the grocery store, you work in an office, park as far away as you can. You know, instead of trying to find that parking spot that's up close, park as far away as you can. And then your car's not going to get dinged and you'll probably get an extra 500 steps in. The
Mm-hmm.
other thing is, if you work in an office, think about getting up and going and talking to your colleague versus sending an email. It'll get you up, it'll get you moving a little bit, you'll get some steps in. Another good rule of thumb is to if you're taking the steps, to walk up one story and then walk down two. So even if you have to go to the fifth floor, you could take the elevator to the fourth and then walk up. And then when you're leaving, you can walk down. So those are some ways. If I know I'm going to be super busy and it's like, okay, how am I going to get my exercise in? I will strap leg weights onto my ankles if I'm at home and I'm running around. Sometimes I even wear them out to the store. People look at you like, what are you doing? You're wearing these leg weights. But I'm like, hey, I'm getting my exercise in. Or
Wow.
if I'm brushing my teeth, I will do squats or leg lifts. So you're combining it. So with my electric toothbrush, it's 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening. So at least I'm getting 4 minutes in. So those are some things to, you know, exercise and try to get your exercise in during the day.
Right.
I think another thing that's important is hydrating. So when you're hydrating, if you have as little as a 2% loss in the fluid that your body needs, it impacts your mood, your memory, and your response time. And what people don't realize is, you know, in the afternoon when you get tired and you think, oh, I need a cup of coffee, or I want a candy bar or something to wake me up and give me energy, a lot of times what people are is dehydrated. So what you really need is a glass of water. So that glass of water would it plumps everything up. It plumps your skin up so that that looks good. If you're taking in enough fluid, you're going to feel full, and it's associated. If you're well hydrated, people take in less added sugar, cholesterol, and fat laden food. So it's like, how do you get your fluid in? So one of the things that I do is at my bedside, I'll have a cup of water so that when I wake up in the morning, I try to drink like the water, which is like at least 8 ounces there, um, before I have my coffee, because coffee's dehydrating. So you can at least get a glass in that way. And then maybe try to drink half a glass before your meals. So it fills you up, plus you're being hydrated. And just thinking about it during the day, if you think in the afternoon, okay, I'm feeling a little tired, maybe I'm going to try what Mary Beth said and have a glass of water.
Right.
And then, you know, some people don't like tap water, but there are things you can do. You can make a pitcher of it and put a bunch of cucumbers in it, like they have at the spa. You know, that's like spa water. It's really good when it's cold. Or some people like alkaline water. Alkaline water, I find, takes away my appetite, and it's really like smooth. It's very easy to drink alkaline water. Some people like sparkling water, so they'll drink that instead. The other thing that I tried once on a camping trip was hot water, and you think, ew, who wants to just drink hot water? But in the hot water, you put some lemon in it. It's actually
Mhm.
pretty good and kind of addicting. So, depending on what the temperature is, the weather where you're at, these are just some ideas to get your uh, to hydrate and make sure you can get it in. So those are some tips on hydration.
Wow. And I love to walk. So exercising. I used to be like that. They got me with the 10,000 steps because I used to be one of those. I'm telling you, they got me with the 10,000 steps because I used to be one of those people that my phone. I got an app on my phone, and then not only that, they got all these apps and these different things now that they want to encourage you to get out and be active because you can win. You can win different little things. Like you can get points for every step you take. And then
Oh,
those points turn into like gift certificates and just different things. Like you can get a $5 Amazon gift card for a certain amount of steps, and then they go up different levels, you go up different things, so they can go and buy your book, they can go and buy some old people book, they can go and support some authors, go out, walk. So I love to walk. I used to live in Myrtle Beach before I moved here.
uh-huh.
I lived in Myrtle Beach for 5 years, and I had this routine where we lived at. There was they had like a walking trail, so I would walk from my apartment complex through this subdivision to this walking trail. And once I walked that trail, I did well over 5 miles, well over 10,000 steps. I would walk all the way around the subdivision, and then they began to build this other subdivision. So it was safe. You felt safe, so you would get out there and you would put your music on, and you would just start walking, and you will forget. And I'll be on walk and forgot how far I walked. I'm be like, man, I got to walk back now. But I love walking and getting that. It's like you may be tired, and then when you start walking and you get out there and you get to moving, it's like when you get ready to go back, you got so much energy, you want to go back and do
Mhm.
something else. You don't even want to go back and sit down. You don't even, that tiredness is gone. So I tell people it's just about getting up and doing it. Even when you
Mhm.
don't want to go out and like she say, get them 2,500 steps in.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
that
Well,
in.
yeah, 2,500 is better than none.
Right.
Well, one of the things I do in the evening, if the weather isn't all that good, because I like to get my 10,000 too, is on my phone, if I want to be looking at like social media, I
Hmm.
walk around the house and scroll. So I'm so I can get like half a mile or a mile walking around the house instead of just sitting and looking at my social media. That now everyone might not be able to move and look at it, but that's another way. Instead of me sitting there for 15 minutes going through the social media, I can get my steps if I need them at the end of the day.
Right. It is so much that we could do to be active and to get the energy going and the energy flowing. You also talked about skincare.
Hmm.
I hear a lot of people saying that things are breaking them out. You know, they're having dry skin. You know, they say they didn't have dry skin before, and now they're developing dry skin. Do you give tips in your book about how we can, keep our skin, I guess, hydrated and moisturized and
Hmm.
elastated and just, keep it looking young and beautiful?
Yes. Well, certainly hydration is one of the keys to keeping your skin plumped up and looking good. There are other things that you can do. A great moisturizer that people don't think about is coconut oil. Coconut oil absorbs very, very well. Most people don't have a reaction to it. And so you don't want to use a lot of drying things on your face, but that's an option. It's coconut oil. Certainly, Trying not to use hot water on your skin, whether it's in the shower or on your face, because that's more drying. To try to use a more like lukewarm when you're washing your face or you're washing your body. And then there's other things for your face. One of the things that I have been doing probably I was thinking about this the other day, maybe 10 years, is I go and I have acupuncture for my face. They stick a bunch of needles in my face once a month, and that helps to produce collagen and get rid of my fine lines and wrinkles. And it's a little different than if you would use Botox, because the acupuncture, which has been around for ages, will maintain the natural shape of your face, where some of the other things changes what your face looks like. I know sometimes if you see people, you're like, that actress doesn't even look like they did, and
Right.
because they might be using things that are changing the natural look of their face. The other thing that I do, and I sort of combine whoopsies, I sort of combine it with self care, is I use red light therapy.
Hmm.
So the red light therapy, you can get a panel or you can get something that looks like a mask that you put on, and you have it on your face like maybe 10 minutes once a day. And then you build up, then maybe maintaining it 3 times a week. But the red light therapy does a similar thing. It helps to produce collagen. It gets rid of some of the fine lines there. So those are some things for your skin that you can be doing, and some things that are a little bit outside the box. Oh, avoiding always using sunscreen. Okay. You just use your makeup that has at least some type of sunscreen in it, even if it's like SPF 20, to have something on, or when you go outside to have a hat on. And think about the rest of your skin too. Sometimes people are really good about using a foundation or a face cream that has SPF protection, but they forget about the rest of their body, and or they don't think of their neck and their chest area. But making sure, and your hands, sometimes your face can look real good but your hands are aging from not using the sunscreen on it. So those are some tips. And I really think the other thing that I use that is a gold standard is retinol products. Retin-A has been around a very, very long time, and it helps with the exfoliation as well as promoting collagen development too. And nowadays, you can find Retin-A or retinol in a lot of different
Hmm.
face creams that are out there, but it does work, and it helps to maintain your skin.
Wow. You have definitely dropped a lot of nuggets on today for those individuals that there's no excuse how you can not look your age. You can age gracefully. And then she dropped little nuggets, little things that you can do, not drastic things that you got to go out and just pay a whole lot of money. Things that you can do within your home, with things that you already have, and then you can gradually you know grow and develop and however you want to do it. But she dropped some great tips. Again, how can we follow you? How can we support some of the things you're doing? Do you hold workshops? Do you have seminars? Do you provide outlets for individuals to connect and learn some of these tips from you?
Well, sure. So I do have a website, www.marybethnewell.com, and people can certainly reach out to me. I even have, if people are interested, they can reach out to me. I have a free mini book. So I have the book that's on Amazon that you can get in a Kindle version or a paperback, but I also have a free little complimentary mini book on easy ways to delay aging and live better. So if anyone's interested in that, they can reach out to me and I'll send them their free copy of the mini book. And then I do coaching. So if people are interested in that, they can reach out to me. So there's the website. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well.
Wow. And in the beginning, you mentioned your mental health expertise. Like I
Mhm.
said, we're going to be doing a grief podcast, and we're going to be doing different things, and we're going to be inviting different people with resources to come on and talk with individuals. Because I've come across individuals that have they lost their kids. Some lost kids to gang violence. Some lost kids to natural death, and then some lost to terminal illnesses, rare diseases. I have a guy that's a part of our book movement right now. He lost his daughter to a rare skin disease,
Mm.
and just different forms of grief and dealing with mental health. So I may invite you to come and sit on and share your resources and share some of your different things that you may be able to provide through your platform for them. So definitely we'll be in contact with you again. What's one thing that you would like to share with the individuals that are tuned in or may hear this replay that will motivate them and stay encouraged on whatever journey they may be on?
Well, I think I like to say, I can do this, okay, with a big CAN. And I think just anything, people might want to be at a certain level, and it's a journey to get there. And it's just changing your thinking, making time for things, or trying to multitask. Like I said, brushing your teeth and doing your squats. Okay, you can do that. There's facial exercises you can do. So sometimes I do them in the car. If you really exaggerate saying your vowels, remember as a little kid, A, E, I, O, U, how you learned your vowels. What if you exaggerate that with your face? That's a way to exercise your facial muscles, and you can
Mm-hmm.
do that in the car. Now, sometimes people look at me and they're like, "What is that lady doing?" And I look like I'm yelling in the car, but you can find time, and whatever you do, it's strapping on leg weights might work for somebody. It might not work for somebody else. There's lots of things there, but you can do this. Even little changes will make a huge difference in your life.
Wow. Well, I definitely have enjoyed sharing with you on today, chatting with you on today. You have been very inspirational. You have dropped some amazing nuggets, and I just thank you. I want to thank you for your work as a nurse because, again, like I said at the beginning, it takes a special person. And just sitting and chatting with you today, I know that you are a very special person. Your spirit is is very special. You are. I mean, you're just very pleasant to be around. And I know that you've helped many people. And I just thank you for taking time to come by and share with us on today. Truly was a blessing. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed talking with you.
And again, I want to encourage you guys to go over to Amazon, go over to her website. Y'all may go over to Amazon and check out what she has, but I always tell individuals to go to the author's website. Visit their personal website and purchase their book so that you can get that personalized copy from them. They can sign it, they can autograph it, and it has that personal touch. So I want to encourage you guys to go over to her website, marybethnewell.com, and see what she has to offer. See what she has going on. See the webinars she may be offering and the different things that she has. Grab your mini book. It's free. You get an opportunity to get an autographed copy. She can sign it and leave you a little personal note. I always like to get a personal note from the person that I'm supporting because it makes me feel special. And then knowing that they took that extra time to sign it and to write that note, it should make you feel special. So again, Mary Beth, thank you for stopping by and sharing. Know that I will be in contact with you, because this is the beginning of a new friendship, because I love to collaborate, I love to network, and I love sharing people. When I think that you are a resource, I love to share you with other people. So know that other people may be in contact with you, because
That would be
that's
great.
what we do over here. We love to I practice the 4 C's, and that is connect, collaborate, create, and community. And that's what we are doing over here. Again, thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by this morning for Monday morning motivation, your hour of power with the Queen. I tell you, I truly would not be able to do this without you. So thank you guys for supporting us. Y'all, 5 years. We celebrating 5 years. We've been doing this for 5 years. I'm excited. And this year we decided to invite individuals to come on and share. So y'all, every week we get someone new coming on and sharing, and getting to know other individuals that's on this journey of trying to empower and motivate you, and to keep you on this journey. So y'all, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you have a marvelous week, and I will see you back here next Monday, same time, same place. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I truly do. And I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great day.